Thank you very much for inviting me to talk today about my new book, The Book on Succession Planning Systems, The 30 Secrets to Leadership Development. Now, I was talking to a group of executives, and as we were wrapping up the presentation, I asked the question, what is really missing from every organization, regardless of the size, industry, etc.? And the audience was a little quiet, so I suggested succession planning. Got mumbles, etc., and people started to ask a few questions. And one of the executives came up to me and said, why do I need a succession plan? I said, well, you really don't. If you plan to live forever, you don't need a succession plan. If you plan to never expand, never grow, never acquire anyone else, never merge, never retire, never sell, you don't need a succession plan. However, in the unlikely event that you're going to do any of these things at some point, then a succession plan would be good. In fact, a succession plan to be successful must include a leadership development program. And she said, well, what do you mean? So I said, well, let me give you an example. Because she was a little bit skeptical, shall we say. Said, we were invited in to talk to a manufacturing company, a local mid-sized manufacturing company, who was about to lose their largest single client. Why? Because their largest client recognized that they were 38% of this company's business. Number one, concentration's not good. Number two, the CEO of the company had been there 40 years, plenty of corporate knowledge, but unfortunately, he was also in his 70s. Now, we all have respect for those people as we get a little older. However, the client was concerned about the fact that he had an expiration date coming up sooner rather than later. They wanted a formal succession plan. So we were engaged to come in and facilitate with our process their succession plan, which apparently satisfied this client who continued to do business with them and actually expanded. That's on the product side. On the service side, because so many people think there's a huge difference, we're working with a law firm out of New York. The founding partners, been there. He started the business 17, 18 years ago. He recognized that he's better at running a business than being a lawyer, and says, 7, 8 years from now, I want to be out. He had no plan. He had no roadmap. So he engaged us to come in, work with his team, and develop a specific roadmap as his transition plan. Great. So it's working fine. But what does this have to do with leadership development? Well, if you're going to create a plan for the future, you've got to have people to fill the roles, because not everyone's going to stick around for whatever reasons. So you want to have a process where you can identify, assess, and train, develop tomorrow's leaders today. Some people aren't quite sure that works. So let me share a quick story. Some of you have heard this before. CEO is walking with a CFO. The CFO says, we're spending a lot of money on training. What if we train these people and they leave the company? CEO says, what if we don't train them and they stay? So, process is, there's a sequence of templates to walk through creating the succession plan along with the leadership development program. Our typical client is able to recognize a 300 to 500% ROI within 12 months of engaging. Seems to work out reasonably well. Again, I'm Daniel Feiman. The book is The Book on Succession Planning Systems. Thank you.